super excited today, and that's because I am in Maranello. That means I'm at the birthplace of Ferrari, here to witness the birth of an absolutely new Ferrari. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Ferrari Amalfi. We knew Ferrari was bringing the new Roma, but what was unexpected was the change in the moniker itself. However, those who follow Ferrari closely will remember Ferrari trademarked the name last year. And now it is here, Ferrari Amalfi, just as exotic as the town itself. This is Ferrari Amalfi. This will replace Roma. That means this is now the entry to Ferrari universe. Being an entry level to Ferrari universe is not an easy task, because you need to attract new buyers and make sure that they stay with the Ferrari brand and experience what Ferrari is all about while being a little bit more affordable than rest of the Ferraris. So that's what Amalfi has to do, and it's doing that by bringing in a lot of mechanical changes and of course design changes. So let me first show you what changes in design and how it looks now. First thing you will notice is that Ferrari Amalfi has a new design language, the one that we have seen in, say, 12 Cilindri. So now you have a little bit more monolithic design, very few creases. This is Flavio Manzoni's interpretation of futuristic. Ferrari is calling it La Nuova Dolce Vita, or the sweet life, where the focus is on minimalism. Gone are sharp creases, replaced by more softer fluidic lines. As is with most Ferraris, the bonnet is long to accommodate that mid-mounted V8. But gone is the prominent power dome. There is just a little hint of it. One more important aspect is that you will not notice any grille up front. There is a sharp nose and there is just a thin dark recessed band behind which are all the sensors, which extends all the way in this headlamp, seamlessly integrated. There is air vent down below, but absolutely no grille. There are air vents here as well on top of the headlamps. Headlamps themselves are much more sleek and the front now looks less human-like. And just like the way we saw in Roma, you get the Ferrari badge almost exactly where it was in the Roma, and of course of similar size as well. This one gets 20-inch forged wheel, and of course you can spot carbon fiber all over the car. On the side you can notice there are not that many lines. Very smooth treatment of the design here. The rear is bulging out, and there is one more interesting thing that I want to show you at the rear, and that's this spoiler lip. This is active spoiler. At the speed of 250 kph, it produces a downforce of 110 kg, while the drag only increases by 4%. So this is a very important piece of equipment in managing the aerodynamics of this car. I must also tell you there are 3 levels. Of course, there's this one level, and then there is for medium speed and then high speed, which is when it produces 110 kgs of downforce. Like in the front, at the rear too, you get this sleek line joining one end to the other. The tail lamps integrated in the same line, and a little definition to show to highlight the tail lamp. Now, of course, you can see a lot of carbon fiber here and the quad exhaust that gives this car that sporty look that this deserves. This baby Ferrari gets a 631 HP twin-turbo V8 engine derived from the F154 engine family. The blistering 631 HP is delivered at 7,500 RPM, redlining at 7,600. This one does 0 to 100 in 3.3 seconds, making sure that there is no mistake about its sports car credentials. The blistering 640 HP is delivered at 7,500 RPM, redlining at 7,600. Peak power with a power curve that just keeps climbing. Amalfi also gets brake-by-wire and ABS Evo. Ferrari claims that the turbo response of the Amalfi is razor sharp thanks to independent turbo control sensors for each cylinder bank. It also sheds weight with lighter camshafts, a re-engineered block, and for the first time in a Ferrari, low viscosity oil to reduce cold start resistance. Ferrari went so far as to claim it has the best power to weight ratio in the segment. The 8-speed dual clutch gearbox, borrowed from the SF90, now shifts faster and smoother with deeper engine integration. And yes, the soundtrack remains pure Ferrari. With a redesigned exhaust, active bypass valve, and that iconic V8 tone retuned to meet strict norms without dulling the drama. How did you like the look of Ferrari Amalfi? I'm absolutely loving it, especially in this Ferrari red. It looks stunning. But there's one thing that has happened inside which every Ferrari lover will definitely love. Let me show you that. And that is the return of physical buttons on the steering wheel. Isn't that cool? Now when you're driving, enjoy your Ferrari, you do not have to take your eyes off the road to fiddle with the touchscreen because you have your buttons right here. Your engine start-stop button makes a comeback to the relief of many a Ferrari fans. Trust Ferrari to focus on the driver. And that means this time the infotainment screen is actually not driver-centric. You would ask why? What am I talking about? Well, the answer to that is the driver is supposed to drive the car, focus on the road, and since this is a GT, the driver most likely will be sitting with a passenger. So Ferrari has made sure that this screen is more accessible to the passenger too, so that they can change and make the adjustments on the request of the driver, and the driver can completely enjoy her Ferrari. You get this 15.6-inch driver display. The clarity is just phenomenal on this, and the information you get is absolutely everything that you want to know will be in front of you on this screen. And of course, you also get this light here to show you your RPMs. I like this layout because I feel that the airflow will be a lot more convenient, especially in hot countries like India. It will be a lot better, and the sense of cooling will be a lot better with this air vent style. Now there is one more thing that Ferrari has done to make sure you enjoy your car as much as you want, and that's, of course, this car comes with ADAS, but there's only one button to switch it off when you don't need it. Of course, when you switch the car back again, when you switch it off, switch it back again, it will, all the ADAS systems will get activated again. So you will have to shut it every time you want to not use them. But at least there is just one button to do that. Isn't that convenient? So you get a 15.6-inch driver display. Besides the driver display, you have a 10.25-inch infotainment screen and an 8.8-inch screen for the passenger. This center console that you see here is a design masterpiece. Why am I saying that? Well, right now it's carbon fiber wrapped, but what lies underneath is anodized aluminum. A finish which is very smooth, very beautiful, and it can only be done with one full block of aluminum. It looks beautiful, while this carbon fiber is optional. Now, Ferrari has tried to give separate cockpits in the Amalfi so that the driver and the passenger can have their own personal space as well. Now, Ferrari Amalfi is a coupe GT. That means you have 2 seats in the front and there are 2 seats at the back as well. However, they are best suited for young children. So that means that Amalfi will give you 273 liters of boot space, just enough to take a weekend trip to Positano maybe. Well, in case you need a little bit more space, all you have to do is press this button here, the second row folds, and you just have to nudge it a little bit to fold properly. But you will have roughly around 300 plus liters to keep your luggage. Ferrari intends to start delivering the new Amalfi by Q1 FY 2026. So India entry is at least a year away. But this baby Ferrari is sure to turn heads whenever it decides to show up.